It was supposed to be a very low politics affair. You were supposed to see the Prime Minister alongside President Biden from the US, France's Emmanuel Macron, who was also, trying to sort of gin up support for EU elections. And that's a normal, easy photo opportunity. Look important, look diplomatic. And yet Rishi Sunak wasn't there. The Foreign Secretary, David Cameron, was instead. And it then emerged, as people started looking into this, that instead Rishi Sunak had gone back to give an interview to ITV. And this is while, in sort of day-to-day politics, there was this row bubbling over tax and whether Rishi had lied over tax. And that was all going on in the day-to-day political scene. And so this morning, you see big splashes on the papers, The Sun, the Daily Mail, the Telegraph, all sort of the Express as well, all about serving and veterans and commemorating it. And on the Daily Mirror, left-wing paper, it's the PM wasn't there. And it clearly has bubbled up to the point where the Prime Minister felt it needed to apologise.
Yeah, absolutely. And so in terms of why he made that decision to come out and do this now, obviously with the election in mind, why might one think about that in terms of the electoral makeup?
I mean, no one was forcing him to do this. This was a choice. And the reason to do it is before this issue spiraled further out of control. Last night, Tim Montgomery, who is one of the sort of leading conservative writers, said this was political mishandling of the highest order. In response to Rishi Sunak's words this morning, Craig Oliver, who was David Cameron's spin doctor, said this was a huge error. And so there are people inside the party who are clearly furious. The Daily Mail is talking this morning about military leaders who are furious. And think about the core audience that Sunak is trying to reach at the moment, especially even on this message about taxes and pensions. It's older voters, the over 65s, who he fears being taken by Nigel Farage's reform. It's hard to find a more targeted message to upset them than not being there for D-Day. So in many ways, before Labour have even launched their housing policy today, get out early, put out an apology and try and stop this story in its tracks before it spins out of control. That is clearly sort of the messaging coming out of the Prime Minister's office this morning. The question is, will that actually play out in sort of the media over the course of today?
Yeah, will it work? I mean, and we know that the Labour Party is trying to target its messages, trying to show competence, trying to win over voters on those two key things. Number one, the economy. Number two, defence. All of the polling shows that if you don't win on those two core ideas, then, as a political party, you can't win. And defence, obviously, is to do with D-Day.
And briefly on that, I mean, both parties looked very interested. The Labour Party were ecstatic that one of the other big photos to come out of all the sort of meetings yesterday was Starmer meeting Zelensky, the Ukrainian leader. And so again, it's the Labour leader who was positioned for the photo op looking prime ministerial, and was Sunak who wasn't there. That is why, just in terms of the optics of the scenario, the Prime Minister was doing this morning.